It is another afternoon that's going to be tough on insurance premiums. Storms returning to the metro area. A live look at downtown Denver right now. There is some hail falling downtown as the rain drops on the camera there.
Yeah, this came in hard and fast. At Coors Field, the rain falling hard, quick, even producing a little bit of hail. The Rockies are scheduled to play tonight, but that remains to be seen after this weather rolled in. Let's get straight to Danielle Grant with the latest. Where is the massive part of this hovering right now?
Downtown Denver and then off to the west and to the north, you guys. The storm system just continues to magnify across the city and intensify as well. I know you showed that time lapse of the hail across Coors Field. Look what it looks like now. I know they have a game. It's set for this evening. We'll see if they can play because the hail now simply covering much of the field out there. Take a look at this live camera if we can. Kind of what's going on out there. Yep, it's still ping-ponging around. It looks like it's in the seats as well as the field, at least bases covered up at this 4 o'clock hour. Tough to see downtown as we have the clouds, the heavy rain, gusty winds have been whipping all around, plus a lot of folks dealing with hail and damaged gardens tonight. As we look on the radar, most of the action has been sitting just on the west side of town and downtown over really the past about 30 minutes. Everywhere in orange under the tornado watch. That's going to continue until 9 o'clock tonight, but I can't rule out seeing those showers and thunderstorms that are moving in across parts of southeastern Colorado. Nothing severe down there. However, we are keeping a close eye on this monstrous cell that is positioned across the city this afternoon. I'll zoom in because we have the severe thunderstorm warning in place. It's going to continue. The National Weather Service has since extended it out until about 4:30 this afternoon. We've seen many reports of pea to marble size hail, radar even indicating larger than that, about the size of a quarter. Love seeing what's kind of happening in your backyard too. A lot of folks tweeting us about their damaged gardens and all of this rain and hail that is coming through parts of the metro area. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning is going to last until 4:30 for us. It's shifting to the northeast only at 10 miles per hour. It is a slow mover, hence the reason we also could be looking at some flash flooding out there too. I sliced the storm in half and you can easily see these cloud tops between about 35 to 40,000 feet. That just means the atmosphere incredibly unstable, and also the hail, a lot of room to move and to grow. This is the hail tracks that we just put on across downtown and really the west side of town, easily looking at $50 to golf ball sized hail. This storm system, guys, we're going to be monitoring it for the next couple of hours. We knew it was coming, and man, is it hitting hard across downtown and really much of the metro area.
All right, Danielle, let's get to meteorologist Keely Chalmers. She is driving around in all this near 44th and Wadsworth right now. What are you seeing, Keely?
Yep. That's right. I want to show you this picture before we have to turn here. This is a side view from the van here, and this is what you said, 44th and Wadsworth. And I tell you, it is like a mini lake here at this intersection. We've been seeing the cars going through, but I tell you what, they've been having to deal with some deep water out here. And as you can hear and likely see, it is certainly hailing out here right now. It started hailing here probably about 10 minutes ago. We started at the station in downtown Denver, drove through torrential rain heading west on I-70. It was all cars pulled over, which you're not supposed to do, under the underpasses. And even before it was hailing. So they were ready, but again, just dealing with the hail, the torrential rains, and a little bit of flooding out here right now. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Keely Chalmers in Wheat Ridge. You can see the construction on what I believe she was on Wadsworth. I couldn't tell if it was Wadsworth or 44th where she turned there. Construction, you add in all that rain, you think about all the water on the roadway. Let's get to Jaleesa Irizarry. Jaleesa is, where's Jaleesa?
Jaleesa's in Edgewater. What are you seeing? Can you hear us? We hear you. We hear the hail, Jaleesa.
It looks like snow on the street, right? Yeah, it is incredibly loud being in this live truck right now, but we're in here and keeping each other safe here. But we're seeing a ton of hail and a ton of water right now. It honestly looks like snow covering the street right now, as well as a ton of loose.
Okay. I mean, as happens, right, when we're dealing with extreme weather like this, feels like deja vu almost. It was just last Thursday when you had those dual tornadoes that touched down in Akron on Wednesday, then Thursday, the tornado in Highlands Ranch. You were talking about the damage in your home. I mean, so many people still cleaning up. Thank goodness we had that stretch, though, of dry weather and able to dry out some of the saturated ground. But man, here we go again.
Yeah, we were just watching Jaleesa Irizarry in Edgewater there. Danielle Grant, we want to bring you in again. I know that we're getting reports of people in Sloan's Lake who are seeing a lot of hail there. I mean, it just seems like this storm kind of came up pretty quickly.
Yep, absolutely, you guys. It just kind of popped up in the foothills, rolled off the hogback into Morrison, and then really encountered some moisture as well as heat here across the urban corridor. What we saw today, that sunshine early on, all the ingredients kind of coming together to allow these thunderstorms to just blow up. And unfortunately, right across the city. I want to show you the temperatures because we were hovering in the 80s earlier as this thunderstorm has pushed in and is now moving a little closer out toward DIA. Numbers are cooling off. That hopefully will allow this storm to kind of back off in intensity just a bit. We're now at 76 here for the metro area, but still the heat remains off to the northeastern plains where these storms are headed. How about the dew points in the 50s? We're kind of used to this the past couple of weeks. We've been looking at a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, almost feeling a little humid when you wake up and go outside. These numbers just indicating how much moisture is in the atmosphere at the surface to work with to get the hail to really blossom. As we look at the threats for today, can't rule out seeing potentially a tornado. We have some good shear in the atmosphere. That also means some twisting, the winds coming our way. And also, of course, like we've already dealt with, huge hail out there. Wind, flooding, also going to be a threat for us. Pretty much everything is in the cards for us. As we look at the futurecast, here we are about 5 o'clock. Within the next hour, the majority of the action will be shifting into parts of I-76, I-70, just east of DIA. We fast forward a couple more hours. Now it's impacting Morgan, Eastern Adams, Arapahoe counties, Denver, hopefully getting a break, and folks probably getting outside trying to clean up. But we won't be done yet. Even into later this evening, 10, 11 o'clock, I would not be surprised if we still will be tracking a few showers out there. Here we are at midnight. The severe threat has weakened, but we still will be monitoring some scattered showers out there. Again, as we look ahead through tomorrow morning, potentially even some rain early on. Tomorrow, Chris Bianchi, he's out there kind of looking ahead at what's coming our way tomorrow. Of course, we're not fully out of the woods. The severe threat for tomorrow doesn't look quite as intense as today, but still, the potential's out there.
Yeah, exactly, Danielle. I kind of want to look at the forecast a bit more in terms of what we might see over the next few hours and looking ahead to tomorrow a little bit as well. But in the meantime, Danielle, you were right on the money with this in terms of that threat over the next few hours. We have a tornado watch in place throughout most of northeastern Colorado. That said, the biggest threat to you over the next few hours will most likely be the large hail. Most of you are seeing it in downtown Denver. We're getting that large hail, as Danielle was just explaining a moment ago. Now, in terms of where all this nasty weather is headed over the next couple of hours, the metro area, I think for the next hour, by about 5:30, we should start to see these storms pull their way off to the north and east. By the way, that goes to speak, of course, we're approaching rush hour right now. Folks, don't drive if you don't have to. Just stay off the roads right now. These are very, very nasty storms. Large hail. There's the potential for tornadoes. You do not want to be on the roads right now. So just wait this out the next hour or so, and then things should get a lot better in the next hour. And by about 5:30, we'll start to see these storms push their way off to the east. So Lyman, Fort Morgan. I know our friends in Fort Morgan, northeast Colorado, had a very, very busy evening last night with up to baseball-sized hail in that part of the state. Unfortunately, there's going to be more nasty weather headed your way in the next hour or two. I-70, I-76, you're going to feel these storms as these push their way off to the east over the next couple of hours. And by about 8, 9 o'clock or so, these storms should push their way off to the east. So, Steve and Alex, I think the next couple of hours, this is going to be the kind of, again, the main time window for all in northeastern Colorado. But for the Denver metro area, in about an hour, we should start to see things get notably better.
Sounds promising, right? We're still kind of in the thick of it, though. Let's get to meteorologist Keely Chalmers. Last time we talked to her, she's in Wheat Ridge. She's now east on I-70, heading towards downtown.
Wow.
Have things shifted? What are you seeing? Still the hail?
Well, we just drove through some very strong, very heavy hail, probably about the size of a pea. Now, let me go ahead and give you a look out the front. It has certainly lightened up, but you can see along the side of the highway there. If I give you a side shot, possibly you can see it. I mean, you can see that pea-sized hail, maybe even larger. Some of those pellets are pretty big. I'd say about a quarter size, lining the highway here. Cars were pulled over, stopped on the highway to let this storm through. But again, things have lightened up a bit here. The heavy hail has stopped right now. Just some light hail mixed with rain falling. Ever so often we hear a big boom, like it is a big piece of hail coming down. But again, slow going traffic here on I-70 heading into town. You can clearly see hail has fallen and it's likely going to fall again. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and this is where we start to run into some of those problems with the cell signal. When everybody's kind of backed up on the highway, everybody might be using their direction tools to try to figure out where they're going, and tends to take up some cell phone room. Let's get to meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, who, as he always does, is trying to get the best picture of this storm from the distance. He's in Aurora. Corey, what are you seeing out there?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, we just kind of pulled over here just south of I-70 here of Smith Road, just getting into the Aurora area. And what you're looking at here, beyond that attractive looking fence there, is the thunderstorm that's going through Denver right now. And one of our kind of main jobs or goals is to keep an eye on possible rotation today. We are in a tornado watch, and this cell that's moving through the Denver metro area will eventually start to spin as it moves through. So we're trying not to get stuck in the traffic of the metro and keep an eye on this thing. And we have seen all the hazards come out of this, but I think it is important to note that so far we haven't seen any of that really large hail. What's going on inside this storm is mostly heavy rain and small hail between about nickel and quarter size, which is up to about 1 inch. So this the ingredients that we have today is certainly have the potential for much larger. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. And speaking of that rain, you can kind of see kind of towards the right-hand side of the screen where it's much darker. We saw that flash of lightning. That's where the main hail core is in this storm, and it is putting down a ton of moisture. In fact, the National Weather Service just issued a flash flood warning for parts of just main part of the Denver metro area. So we'll continue to watch this storm as it moves through and evolves onto the east side of the metro.
All right, lots of ominous clouds. We want to get to our Katie Eastman, who is on 225 North, also on the road for us today, giving us the best look heading towards Aurora. Wow, those are some dark clouds, Katie.
Yeah, we are just driving in sunshine right now, but we see that impending doom heading north on 225 North. We were just in the Denver Tech Center. It seemed to just miss that area right there. There were dark clouds over us, and then it was sunshine again. We were next to a bunch of people in the park, and it looks like they are safe. But as we head north towards Aurora, towards DIA, doesn't look like people up there will be as lucky, so we'll just keep giving you this look as the storm heads on over here.
We were seeing that view from Corey Reppenhagen's camera. He's a little bit east of there, just kind of looking back at that storm. Here's the view from the south, and Katie Eastman looking on 225, heading toward the Aurora area. A preview of coming attractions for folks who are in that area. So be weather aware, be safe, make sure you got everything covered up. If you can get your car to a garage, try to get it there just in case.